You have found yourself on another episode of Locked On Bulls. We're going to be reviewing the Bulls season of pain, ups and downs. We're going to review that on today's episode. We're also going to look at the last 25 years for the Chicago Bulls and why a troubling trend is presenting itself there. And lastly, we're going to look at the stats for the 2023-24 Bulls. We're going to get to all that and more right after this.
You are Locked On Bulls, your daily podcast on the Chicago Bulls, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Thank you for tuning in to Locked On Bulls, member of the Locked On Podcast Network, with where it's your team every single day. It's been the Bulls every single day. It's breaking my brain, bro. It's breaking my brain. That's Pat the Designer, host and creator of the Windy City Breeze and host of the Chicago Bears podcast over at ESPN 1000. I'm Haize, host and creator of Chicago Bulls and Chicago Bears Central YouTube pages and podcasts. Pat, man, the regular season's over. We got at least one more game. We'll see what comes of that, but the regular season has come to a close last night after a loss to the New York Knicks. But we're going to review the season. This has been a season where I know we're going to get into like records and things like that, statistics, things like that. But overall, like I look at this season as there have been equally bad downs as equally good ups, or maybe the ups were a little bit better ups than downs. I would say like the growth of Kobe and Ayo, I think, are a huge up. Me and you talked a lot about the offseason on just how important it was for one of the young players to really step up and increase their game. We got two of them. Kobe, of course, had higher highs than Ayo Dosunmu, but Ayo as well, rounding out to a damn good player, finishing the season, I believe, averaging 12 points per game on over 50% shooting. Fortunately, he was injured the last 3 games of the season, but, Ayo Dosunmu really went from a player that, we saw that initial promise his rookie year, had a sophomore slump, to being right back up his third year in the league. And not only that, but he brought back that same level of defense that we come accustomed to it, but the passing, the scoring, and he's without Ayo Dosunmu on the court, our fast breaks have been terrible. So best player leading the fast breaks for the Bulls as well. But how you feeling, Pat?
I mean, listen, you got two players that feel like they're ascending, which is good, right? You come out of a season, I guess if we've talked so much about, okay, what's going to be different next year? If there's anything that's going to be different next year, it's that you've got players that seem like they're on the rise. That's a great thing coming out of this season. Love the positives on that. If the Bulls were able to not start the season off 4-15, we might feel a lot better about that as well. I know a 45-win season is nothing, by the way. Like it's and that's what the Bulls would have been on pace for with their win percentage after the break, right? Basically a 548 win percentage. Or not after the break, after the losing streak. It was a break for us. After the losing streak and all of the losing that the Bulls did in that 4-15 run. But that kind of record with Kobe White, with Ayo Dosunmu playing better, to me would have meant a lot more to us. Even if we're still in the play-in game, you feel like you've got two players that are helping you compete, two players that are going to be pillars for your team in the long run. I feel like they're the highlights of this season. They're the pieces that I look at and I go, okay, this is, if we come out of this with nothing, if we end up moving on from DeMar, we move on from Drummond because we don't have the money to do it. At least there's something to focus on. And now I guess your focus shifts back on some of the young players you still have here who got some run this season as well. Patrick Williams, very up and down, but had a hot
month of December.
Great month,
or was it January? One of those months. It was December, a great month.
January. Like you feel like, okay, maybe he had a hot month. Can he come back and build on that, right? Like you feel like there's some building blocks there with younger pieces. You're still looking for that star, but at least there are building blocks available to you right now.
Let me ask you this. Let's play this game in this segment. I'm going to go through the Bulls young players, and you tell me, you can either say a building block, not sold on, incomplete as far as you haven't seen enough from them yet. Is that fair? Is that 3 ratings? Kobe.
Building block.
Ayo.
Building block.
Julian Phillips.
Incomplete.
Dalen.
Not sold on.
Not sold still. Okay. That's fair. Patrick Williams.
Not sold on.
All right. Adama Sanogo.
Incomplete.
OB.
Super incomplete.
So out of that, so you got Kobe and Io as building blocks. Julian Phillips, you're incomplete on, right?
Yeah.
Dalen, you're not sold. So the Dalen, if I remember correctly, Dalen's the only one you're not sold on so far.
Dalen,
Which,
if he will.
if you have 5 young players that you look at and you say, hey, 2 of those I believe are building blocks. One of them I'm not quite sold on, and then you have another 2 to 3 that you're looking at and saying, hey, no, I'm just not sure yet. That's a solid enough place to be in.
The problem
is
start.
The
problem is though, right? So it was 2 that I wasn't sold on. It was Dalen, it was Patrick Williams. The problem is one of those
you won't start on Patrick Williams. Okay.
One of them is the 4th overall pick.
Yes.
One of them is the 18th overall pick.
Yeah.
These are 2 pieces that you need to be building blocks on your team. Now, Dalen, we're willing to give more time because he basically only saw the floor at certain points when guys were out or guys were
way
hurt.
more aggressive like the last 5 games of the season.
Yeah.
I love the aggressive.
I was more excited to see the Dalen at the end of the season that we got. He was more. I'll say this: have him work with Javonte Green all off season. If you end up keeping Javonte there, because keeping that mindset with the height and the skill set that Dalen could possess, that would be a combination that I would love to see them actually, go out there and get the most out of. But the fact that I can't be sold on people. We're what are we now? 4 years into this, and we're still asking the same questions on aggression.
Yeah. And that's really the thing. Like with Patrick Williams, like, don't get me wrong. Like he's still some of the dribbling things, stuff like that. There are definitely things that he still needs to like round out on his game. But like, if I could just bet on Patrick Williams being aggressive every single night, it would change my thought process on him a lot. But we just can't bet. We can't bet on that. The way that Dalen to finish the season is the fact that Dalen took body contact and basically you could see it. When he did the size of dribbles, like, oh no, he's finna take it to the rim. It don't matter who puts a body on him. And he absorbed contact, didn't finish around the rim quite yet. We know Dalen still needs to put on some weight, but just to see those type of things from Dalen, where last year Dalen looked like a deer in the headlights every minute that he's played last year. So for this season, for that to kind of start changing, I think is a nice sign that at least the mentality, he just would have had a lot this offseason.
And I think that what makes it tough is like it almost feels like you've hit a ceiling with Patrick Williams, right? Like I know he had a hot month. He played really well there. A lot of players have hot months. A lot of players have, they have a great. How many times have we seen that here in Chicago Bulls fans? Like we know about that. But
Nick
the Patrick Williams you got,
Laurie Marketing, Patrick Williams,
the
John
Patrick
Salmons.
John Salmons, I mean, hey, all of a sudden he could shoot threes for a month. It was crazy. Nobody knew what was going on.
Yeah.
But I mean, you look at realistically P. Will from last year and P. Will from this year, 10 points a game, 44%, a little bit down from last season. He shot 46% last season from the field, 39% from 3, still a good 3-point percentage, but he shot 41% last season from 3, 4 rebounds, 1.5 assists, 0.9 steals. He's the same dude he was last season. He just has more chin hair now.
And in the month of December, just to put it in perspective, just to offer the perspective, the month of December for Patrick Williams, I'm not going to count the number of games, things like 12 games, 14 points per game on 52% shooting from the field, taking 10, still the same 10 shots, 50% from 3-point range. He also averaged 4.5 rebounds, two assists, 1 block, 1 steal per game in that amount of time. And that's the thing. Like Patrick Williams as a superstar, I'm out on that. I don't think that. But if Pat can even just do that for the majority of the season, you at least then you're looking at as a player that can consistently contribute. Now it's just like, all right, which Pat are we going to get today?
And I think going back to the Dalen point, right? Like that month was what he was just moving. He was like it was like he's not just standing in the corner.
And he didn't hesitate. Like that's why I highlighted that it's still the same 10 shots per game.
Yes,
but he just didn't hesitate on it. He didn't think about it. He pulled it. Like
he was under the basket. He was chasing shots. He was following shots. Like there's so much gain. I keep saying this, right? We can sit there and talk about, he doesn't get enough plays called for him. They don't give him enough opportunity. Fine. Make opportunity. I've watched Javonte Green play 9 games this season. Every single game, he found a way to make opportunity in games that mattered and some that didn't at the end of the season. But every game, he found a way to make opportunity. Nobody's calling these plays. Dalen Terry started to do that over the last 6 or 7 games, making his own opportunities. That is all I want Patrick Williams to do, because with the way you're playing right now, you're not probably going to get plays called for you because you're the third option on this.
Not third, fourth. And to your point, Javonte Green on 8 shots averaged 12 points per game. So it's not like, and I get it, and I understand that, and that's not to say that the people who say, well, Patrick doesn't get plays called for him. Don't get me wrong. Yes, but you know how you get plays called for you? You create opportunities for yourself, and then the coach will then say, you've been doing pretty damn good. Let's go ahead and run 5 plays to start off this game for Pat.
Like, and listen, now that's a Billy Donovan point. That's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
As the 4th overall pick, you should be getting some plays called for you.
Yeah.
Right. That is something that goes in there. But if it's not happening, don't just resign to your fate. Don't just stand in the corner and say, I'm gonna be a corner spot up 3-point shooter. And I feel like that's really what we've seen. And it's such the epitome of this Bulls team as a whole. When you look back at this season, it's kind of the Bears. I mean, the White Sox ain't even on this scale, but like my biggest thing with Chicago sports lately is it feels like we're just doing enough. What are we asking you to do? Oh, just stand in the corner, shoot threes. Okay, what's it going to take for you to run down there and grab that rebound because you're 6'9", 260 pounds, whatever P. Willis, he ain't that heavy, 230 pounds. You know what I mean? Like, how much effort is it going to take for you to follow somebody else's shot? Because you can't shoot the ball if the ball's in the air.
Yeah.
Go the extra mile. We saw better basketball at the end of this season, better basketball, just because we saw more people willing to go the extra mile. We praised Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu during the month of December, January, February, because they were willing to go the extra mile. Like it's so much of this feels like it's just an effort-based thing. Now there's lack of talent, but lack of talent, at least in the Chicago Bulls teams that I've watched in the past, brought out effort. Like, hey, we know we're not better than you. We're gonna try way
to the
harder.
Baby Bulls, the Kurt Heinrich, Luol Deng, Big and Gordon Bulls. That team lacked talent, but you know what they didn't lack was heart. You know what they did? They beat a lot of teams with better talent on them consistently because they just outworked them and played with more heart. And that's what we like to see here in Chicago. But you know, next up, we're going to be talking about the 25 years of pain we've been dealing with the Chicago Bulls team. Before we get into that, though. Before we get into that, though, got to talk to you guys about one of our sponsors, and that is BetterHelp. This segment is brought to you by our sponsor, BetterHelp. Sometimes we all need the opportunity to get something off our chest. Big or small, certain things can really start to get to you. It's important to let that out, especially to someone who's unbiased on your life. So today, I want to say how I really feel about something. You might even been thinking the same thing this week, and that is the Bulls stress me out. But you know one thing that can help you with your favorite sports team stress you out? That's therapy with BetterHelp. Therapy can be different for everyone. Most of us have bigger problems than our favorite sports team, and it's important to get things off your chest every once in a while. If you're thinking about starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be flexible and suited to your schedule. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. All right, Pat. So we talk often about the struggles of this team. We talk a lot about it. And so 25 years, bro, which is the majority of my life. It's basically all of your life, right? The Chicago Bulls.
30 this year. I'd have been 5.
So over the last 25 years, the Bulls have a record of 936 and 1,121. That's a 45.5 win percentage. That's the record of 37 and 45. The Bulls also have 9 winning seasons over that time, 13 losing seasons, and 4 seasons at 500. Only 3 seasons of 50 wins or more, 12 postseason appearances, 13 seasons without the playoffs, and 1 Eastern Conference Finals appearance. Now, the thing that's important to bring up about that as well, we got 936 wins. Probably about 100 to 150 of those came during the Tibbs era.
Yeah. I asked this question on an episode I don't even, maybe I didn't do this on Locked On Bulls. Maybe we did this on the Breeze. But we have to seriously start asking ourselves, is Jerry Reinsdorf closer to one of the best or worst owners in the NBA? And a lot of us will put him up there with the best because 6 rings, Michael Jordan, amazing. You got to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But since he's bought the Chicago Bulls, bought the Bulls in 83, there's been mostly losing.
Yeah.
You're talking about legitimately 10 years of winning. Since 1983, 10 years of winning. Now, even with that 10 years of winning, if the Blazers weren't stupid, you don't get 10 years of winning. So you lucked into your 10 years of winning. And because of that, you continue to see the Bulls beat their chest on, we know how to do things the right way. We're going to get this right. We're going to figure this out because the standard for this organization is championship. That standard died a long time ago.
The thing is that even that winning, like, and I look at it and I get it. Jerry as the owner is going to get that. But to me, other than Michael Jordan, because they lucked into that, we won because of Jerry Krause, not because of Jerry Reinsdorf. The wrong Jerry gets the credit for the wins.
Yeah. I think Jerry keeping things together helps us get 6, like the 6th one. You know what I mean? Because it wouldn't have been that. But I did this exercise, right? Let's say since he's owned the team, this is how things have kind of gone down. If you get to the Eastern Conference Finals, I'd say that's a fairly successful season.
Yeah.
28-54, 27-55, lost in the first round in 85, lost in the first round in 86, lost in the first round in 87, lost in the semis in 88, but did have a 50-win season, moving in the right direction. Lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, successful season, 89, Michael Jordan. 90, lost in the Eastern Conference Finals, successful season. You're figuring it out, 55 wins. Championship, lost in the Eastern Conference semis. Jordan is back for that one, but still 2 really good winning seasons, just didn't have enough. No Michael Jordan there. Won the finals. After that, you're talking about 1 season of success when Derrick Rose made the Eastern Conference Finals.
Well, that's if you're only using Eastern Conference Final as the barriers for success, but I feel where you're coming from on that.
Well, I think here's the thing, right? Like that is what you want to see, and especially with how we've won the games, right? With Jordan, it's a little bit different because there's like some 50-win seasons in there where he doesn't end up getting out of the first round and stuff like that. But since then, there's been no Jordan. We haven't had a season that we feel great about the regular season and then we're surprised in the playoffs.
I gotta disagree with that.
What's
again? I'm not judging it by the ECF, but I'd say Derrick Rose's rookie year, the fact that team with a rookie head coach pushed the Celtics to 7 games, I still count that as a successful season.
No, I'm not saying surprised as in you overachieved. I'm saying surprised as in you got eliminated, right? A lot of the times,
I get what you're saying.
When
we got
those
upset.
50-win seasons, you're like, if you get beat before the ECF, you like, yo, how did this happen, right? With the Derrick Rose Bulls, even in some of those 50-win seasons where it was high wins, Derrick Rose ends up going down. We're not surprised that we get eliminated in those seasons.
Mm-hmm.
We ran into LeBron in the semis. Not really surprised that we end up losing that. Maybe you could have done that, but D Rose coming off the injury comes back, you end up getting eliminated. But even that, dog, we're talking about 13 years of great seasons if we include all of it. Since Jerry Reinsdorf has been here. So at what point do we say the 10 years was great, but you've owned this team since 1983? So 10 years out of the entire time now of 30 years, like, what are we having a conversation on as a team? It has been bad, especially the last 25 years. You take out the Jordan years, you would look at this team as
the last 25 doesn't carry the Jordan years, but even
what I'm saying. Like when you take out the Jordan years, you're talking about 3 good seasons.
Yeah, for sure. It's a struggle, man. And even then, even if you take out the Jordans, you're still looking at the fact that you got completely lucky to even get the number 1 overall pick to turn to Derrick Rose. So it's luck. When we're looking at luck or cheating, whatever.
Yeah, I was going to say, that was some chicanery there.
You know. That's why we haven't won anything in the lottery since then. But it is what it is.
I swear I said when we got the 3rd, 7th overall pick, I said this is our curse for Derrick Rose. This is our curse for like turning our backs on Derrick and like running him out of the city. We gave you the 1st overall pick.
Technically his knee ran him out the city, but
nothing ran him out the city. But that was dark. That was a shot. I apologize to Derrick. But yeah, I mean, it's when y'all if y'all ever get a chance, just look at it. Like there's some years
it's depressing.
It's not even competitive when you look at the year by years. I mean, 13 wins, 17 wins, 15 wins, 21 wins, 30, 23, 47. That we all remember that surprise season, that 04-05. We're like, wait a minute now, hold on.
Yeah, but then the following season to that was when we went back down and then we got
41 and 41.
Oh, it was 41 and 41. No,
following season was 41 and 41, and then we got Derrick Rose. Remember that season after that?
That's the one I'm thinking, 27 and 55. Wins. Yeah,
that season after that, we almost had 50 wins. We had like 49 and 33. That was a shock of a season, and then after that, we had 33 wins.
Yeah,
the NBA used to be a weird place. Like that used to just happen.
You know what? The weirdest year was when every team in the Central Division made the playoffs.
Exactly.
That was such a strange season, bro.
The NBA used to have some weird seasons where you just be like, hey, why are these mothers not good no more? Like they were really good last year. Like what happened? Like why are they not good? And you find out somebody banged somebody's wife. I don't think that was the Bulls that happened to. I think that was not the Bulls. That was the Knicks, wasn't it? Hey, it happens. But yeah. 25 years of struggle, absolutely. And I don't know when we're gonna break the cycle. Like
the cycle is more likely to break us than we are to break the cycle.
Know what I mean?
Yeah.
What a quote. The cycle is more likely to break us than we are to break the cycle. What a pull on that one. Hey, before we get to this final topic where we got to sit here and look at the stats from this team this season and why we are where we are, we got to tell you guys all about Monopoly Go. I've been told I'm a competitive person, and I think that here's the best part about all of this. Monopoly Go gives me that opportunity to compete with everybody out there. I've got a little bit of a competitive side to me, and I'm sure that you've heard of Monopoly Go. It's been downloaded over 150 million times. It's got a great twist on Monopoly where you play on not one, but hundreds of Monopoly boards in crazy locations, building up amazing cities that bring you big money. The best part is messing with my friends. I can charge them rent on my iconic property, just like classic Monopoly, but now I can also rob their values of their riches for myself. This is dark. I guess Monopoly is kind of dark realistically when you think about it. And the leaderboard show me who's got the biggest Monopoly and who's the biggest Monopoly tycoon on the board. But it's not just my competitive side that loves it. You can team up with friends and people all around the world and in time tournaments to earn huge rewards. So go in, get in on the game, and join your friends. Download Monopoly Go now for free on the App Store or Google Play Store.
I gotta tell you something super funny. I meant to tell you about this, which I know we got a topic to get into. But I was literally when we were going for my son's his college visit. We stopped at a random gas station, bro. Random gas station in the middle of Podunk, Missouri. It is what it not. This place isn't actually called Podunk, Missouri, but it really looked like a scary place to be at, bro. This dude walks out the gas station with the biggest, most ridiculous Chicago Bulls belt I've ever seen him out. Bro, the horns came from the belt to like mid part of his chest. I was just like, you had to get that custom made, bro.
Are you buying one?
No, that's ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Listen, for the good of the show, you might have to buy one. You are the merch guy on the show.
No, now I am getting. Did you see that they got the WWE Championship belt with the Bulls logo on it? I am getting one of those.
I think you should go all in and get this belt buckle and just roll around with that, where like it's stabbing you a little bit right here, right in this area.
Yeah, no, I'm good on that, bro. I'm kind of good on that one.
Where'd the face stop? Pause.
The face stopped at the normal place of the like one of the country cowboy belts, so it came up a little bit higher. But the horns, literally, bro, the horns had to be like a foot, bro. It was ridiculous, bro.
So just the horns were massive.
Just the horns were ridiculous, bro.
Bro, that's crazy.
That's
That is hilarious.
Most
Chicago
confusing
Bulls.
thing. Yeah, bro, it's crazy. But go ahead with the stats, brother.
Oh man, listen, we got some stats on this Bulls team this year, boys. I mean, like I already told you, the team basically was on track post 4-15 record for a 548 win percentage. I think that would lead you to believe that, oh, maybe there was some good here. No, it was plenty of mid. 548 is exactly around where I would expect this team to be. Now they underachieved on that because of that start. But I mean, when you look at the numbers, it is absolutely mid. Like offensive rating 114, that's 19th in the NBA. Defensive rating 115.7, that's 22nd in the NBA, which is why the Chicago Bulls are so high on the clutch wins, why they lead in clutch wins with 27, why they played in so many clutch games, because you're talking about a basket difference, not even a basket, you're talking about a free throw difference, basically, which has been the problem for the last 4 years here. 3-pointers per game, we wanted to improve in that this season. We did not. We're tied for 26, 11 and a half 3-pointers per game this season. Turnovers per game is probably the best. They had a franchise record low 12.2 turnovers per game. That's third in the NBA. Billy Donovan talked about wanting to improve on that this season, did an excellent job with that. Offensive rebounds, not bad. Offensive rebounding percentage, I should say. 11th in the NBA with 29.1. Free throws per game, they were 21.1, so 18th in the league, so not getting to the free throw line enough. And the pace of play, which the Bulls also wanted to improve, they were 28th in the NBA with a 96.94 pace of play. I mean, every stat speaks to the middling of the Chicago Bulls. Like it's a franchise that cannot find a way to go either direction. They can't go up. And for the love of God, they refuse to go down.
Yeah. It's pretty bad. Pretty bad.
I don't know if it was or not. I had to throw it out there as a question mark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
See what Kobe White thinks.
We're never deleting that, by the way. It's just this is a permanent reaction now on this channel. Hearing that for as stats for the Chicago Bulls, to me, that just tells me it is indicative of the eye test. This team has been mid.
Yeah. I think you said it so well too, right? The highs have been high and the lows have been woefully low. And that you just end up bottoming out in the middle.
Yeah. I mean, and the thing is too, this team is that we've seen this team look and play so good in certain games. But then it's like the thing that I want is I could, because it's hard to build off on something that is so much variance between, right? I'd rather us be consistently bad or consistently mid, where it's like we don't have the high highs for at least a season there, so then we can know what to do and what to change. Because right now, like, and this is not to give AK or Eversley an excuse, but this is their job. They look at these players every single day. They have more tape than whatever I could watch. But it's just looking at it, it's like, because you see so many highs, and I could understand seeing that and saying, hey, we just need to find a way to unlock this consistently, and we're right there, because the highs have been high. But it's just, man, I don't know, bro. It's the effort sometimes, the bad games against bad teams where those teams have more heart than us. I know something that I harp on a lot of times, the movement without the ball, which makes everything more difficult on the offensive side of the ball. It's just fundamental things with this team that you look at and you say, I don't care what the talent is. Well, I do care. But if you don't do the fundamentals consistently, you're always going to struggle, no matter what the talent level is.
And I mean, listen, you're absolutely right. And I think the problem that I've said probably since halfway through the season at this point is these numbers speak to you losing at the simplest part of the game.
Yeah.
Math. You don't do enough to score more points.
Yeah.
You literally, like, it'd be different if it was like the Bulls are putting up 45 3-pointers a game. They're attacking the basket, at one of the highest rates in the NBA, and the shots aren't falling. That's different. They're running. They're getting out. They got a high pace of play. They're shooting threes. They're attacking the basket. They just can't make shots. That's a different conversation. That's a talent problem. It doesn't feel like a system problem, though.
I can agree with that.
You don't shoot in a game that the object is to shoot. you have one of the lowest, or I guess middling, points in the paint totals in the NBA at 48% or 48 points in the paint right now. And that puts you at, let me see where that puts them at here. That puts them 21st in the NBA. So you're not attacking the paint. You're not shooting the 3-ball. You're not putting up enough shot. Like literally, the Bulls aren't shooting enough. You're not giving yourself enough opportunities to go.
The thing is, though, and that's why I always go back to moving out the ball, because listen, with the lack of spacing that we have, because we don't move and the defense is able to just set in, they could jack up more shots. They're going to be easily defended. Like, it's just everything gets made easier by moving without, and that's fundamental basketball. Yes. I don't understand why we don't do it. Like, it's so many times where the team is just literally watching Kobe DeMar go to work. And it's even Vooch. When Vooch was cooking at some points the other night against the Knicks. And when nobody was moving, it's like, you do realize that Vooch is a pretty good passer. Had you just took that angle, he probably, instead of taking a difficult fadeaway, he probably would have been able to get you the ball for an open lay. Like, it's just those type of things. Like,
and it's so funny because it's like they don't turn the ball over a lot. I guess maybe because you're not giving them a ton of opportunities by cutting and throwing the basketball down.
Yeah, like that's probably.
You know what I mean? Like, I guess maybe that'll keep the turnovers low. But the philosophy of this team doesn't make sense. You're playing basketball. The Bulls play a sport where tall guys matter, and you have to shoot the ball to win the game. And the Chicago Bulls have 19 point guards. And they don't shoot the ball, and they don't attack the paint, and they don't move without the ball, and they don't cut to the basket. And they're like, what game are you playing? This isn't even 90s anymore. This is just like,
they're playing racquetball out there, bro. I don't know what to say.
No, you know what they playing? They playing that. You ever seen that? I don't know what the name of the game is, but it's like, it's basketball with no backboard, and they just throw the ball. It's like some game in Australia, I think it is.
No, that's crazy.
Like, nobody runs, nobody's like playing defense. Like, you just hold the ball, and for some reason, if you make it, like, you can win a championship. All the clips I see are like people losing their mind. Is like, nobody tried to block her shot. It's
like, called netball. That actually makes a lot of sense.
That's exactly how the Bulls play. The Bulls play like a netball team.
They're playing the net. That's crazy.
The Bulls are in the wrong sport. Oh, we figured it out. Dang it, Haize. This whole time, we thought we were a member of the Locked On NBA circuit. We need to be on the Locked On Netball circuit.
Oh, my God.
We finally figured it out.
Well, me and Pat just really cracked what's going on with the Chicago Bulls. That's crazy.
They're probably like the tops of all netball teams.
That's hilarious.
If you put the stats together, they would be an elite netball team.
Netball is also played, it looks like, on a triangular court. Is that what it says?
I don't even know what that means.
I don't know either.
Yeah,
but like, it's international listeners who can tell us what netball is. That's crazy.
Let us know in the comments, why don't they play defense? Every time I see it, it's like some tall chick just like throwing the ball in, and then she's like losing her mind, like she had a game winner, and everybody's freaking out. And I'm like, what just happened? I don't know, man. Hey, that's it for us on this one. We've clearly cracked the code on the Bulls, and we've cracked the code on our sanity.
Even in the Special Olympics, in the wheelchairs, they move without the ball. They move without the ball. I'm just saying, bro.
I left the show going 1 minute too long on that one. That's my fault, Nick. Hit that like button, subscribe to the page, leave a 5-star review, follow us on everything at Locked On Bulls. You can follow me on everything at Pat the Designer. What a bar.
You guys can follow me at CEO Haize. Locked On Bulls is free and available on every podcasting app and platform of your choice, as well as YouTube and the Odyssey app. For Pat the Designer, I'm Haize. It's been Locked On Bulls, y'all. Peace.
Even the wheelchairs move without
the ball.
Crazy work. Those Special Olympic hoopers getting after it.
Wait a